The Independent Electoral Commission, citing similarities in the logo of ActionSA and another existing party as a reason for rejecting its application to be registered as a new party. The IEC Deputy CEO on Electoral Matters Masego Shiburi says the similarities in the logo may confuse voters when casting ballots. ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba has vowed to challenge the IEC's rejection in the courts. The IEC's Deputy CEO, Masego Shiburi, joins us now on the line. Masego, very good morning. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us.
Good morning.
Can you provide more detail as to why ActionSA's attempt to register the party was rejected?
The registration of political parties is regulated in terms of the Electoral Commission Act. A specific provision provides that in making a decision to register a party, the Chief Electoral Officer must inquire as to whether the logo or the identifier of that party does not bear any resemblance to any party that is already registered. To achieve two things. The first one is that we must make it easier for the voter to make an informed choice. So if you consider that in a voting station, if a voter is confronted with a choice among 48 parties, the logos cannot be that pronounced on the ballot paper. They are smaller because of the restrictions of space. So even in those circumstances, the logos must not be so similar that they confuse voters. Secondly, the effect of registering as a political party means that your logo and name and abbreviations of those names are protected, and therefore a party can exercise its right to safeguard their logos if they think that the registration of another party may result in the logos being confused by the voters. We also know, having conducted a study in 2018, that voters told us that they use party logos as primary identifier. They don't consider the names of the party, whether full names or abbreviations. So you only use the logo to identify the party of their choice on the ballot paper. So that decision to not register that thing is, in terms of the law, the CEO is barred from registering a party that may cause confusion with an existing and registered political party.
So if the regulations are this clear-cut, why do you think ActionSA missed it? Or why did they miss the point?
From what I've heard in public is that they think that the logos are not similar, and to the extent that they have exercised the right to appeal the decision of the Chief Electoral Officer with the Commission, on our part we will await the submission of the appeal, and as an administration we will then give effect to the decision of the Commission if the Commission set aside the decision of the CEO.
Okay. You've just touched a bit on it, but what do you require from ActionSA for them to be registered as a political party?
What we've said to them in writing when we responded to the application was that they have two choices. The first is to change their logo so that it's not too similar to the logo of Party of Action, and then resubmit. And then if the logo does not clash with any of the registered party logos, we will then register the political party. The second option that they have, and that is the choice that they've elected to exercise, is to appeal the decision of the Chief Electoral Officer with the Commission.
Yeah. How appealable is the one? The one reason is that their logo looks like another party, but the other one is that elements of it have elements of the South African flag. How appealable is that that particular aspect?
Okay. As an election management board, we have a duty to assist political parties. Reference to the Heraldry Act was just to assist the political party. It is not the basis on which we rejected the application. The application we rejected in terms of the Electoral Commission Act. We do not want a situation where one day we say to a party, no, your logo looks similar to another party, and they come back 2 weeks later with a changed logo, and we tell them, but no, your logo is acceptable to us, but it offends the Heraldry Act. So we thought we should give them information so that when they decide to resubmit a new logo, they can submit a logo that gives effect, one, to the Heraldry Act, but also does not cause confusion with the logo of an already existing party. So the primary reason for rejection is that their logo causes confusion with a logo of a party already registered. It's not the name, it's just the logo.
So we were speaking to the chairperson of ActionSA yesterday, and he was saying that you are not being impartial. You have previously allowed parties that had logos that were similar to the ANC, and they were not rejected. What's your response to that?
Even if that were so, it doesn't mean that because there was a mistake in the past, we must perpetuate that mistake. We now know, as I said, having conducted research following the claims that the AIC and ANC logos were too similar. We conducted a study among voters to look at the number of logos that we thought were similar. And now we know that voters say they use the logo as a primary identifier. Whereas in the past we looked at the logo and the name of the party and abbreviated of the party as a composite identifier. But now we know that the voters tell us they only look at the logo as a primary identifier. So that is the focus. And you'll recognize that since 2019, we've given prominence to the logo on the ballot paper to aid the decision making by the voter. So I dispute that we've treated ActionSA different to what we've treated other political parties that registered with us.
So there's also been assertions that this decision smacks of political posturing. Can you confirm for us that if this is the case?
We are not a political party, so we are incapable of posturing, so that's not the case. What we're doing, we are administering the law as it stands to protect the right of a party that has vested because they've registered a logo, but to also put the interest of the voter at the center of the decision making so that a logo should not cause confusion. So that we know now that voters said in the past they had inadvertently cast votes for parties they did not intend to vote for.
So ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba has vowed to challenge this decision in court if needs be. Are you prepared to go the legal route should the need arise?
I think the approach to court by the ActionSA is an avenue of recourse that they have. If we are taken to court, we will place our side of the story before court, and we will then appreciate and abide the clarity that the court would have provided. I think the parties within its right to exercise its right of recourse available to it.
Okay, let's just talk about the upcoming local government elections. Is there any indication in terms of when they will be held and how in terms of protocols, because we have a new normal now?
Thank you very much. We have by-elections, all the by-elections that have been postponed owing to COVID since March. We will have those on the 11th of November. There are about 96 ward vacancies across all provinces in 56 municipalities, and that impact about 600,000 registered voters. The registration weekend for those by-elections is over this weekend, the 3rd and the 4th of October. So people can go to our website, elections.org.za, type in their ID number, and we will then indicate to them if their ward has a by-election. If they listen to their radio stations, they'll also hear announcement about the wards that are affected by the by-elections, and they can go register over this weekend and or update their registration details. So as I said, the by-elections will be on the 11th of November.
Did you say 600,000 voters are impacted by these by-elections?
600,000 registered voters in those 96 wards in which we have vacancies. That's correct.
Oh, that's quite a chunk.
It's quite a big by-election, yes.
Yeah. Well, we hope to be speaking to you again soon, just as we look ahead to November 11th.
Thank you very much.
Masego Shiburi is the IEC's Deputy CEO.